This is Learning the Burner. I'm Garrett,
Nope.
and we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2?
I have, but I only watched them once each, and it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, well, I saw them in theaters, and I also watched them recently. I forgot how good they were. Both of them are good.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
I think I like the second one better.
Yeah, they definitely found their groove for the second one.
Yeah. Um, have you read any of the comics?
Um, no, I've heard I've heard about it, but you know, I haven't read like the specific Guardian stuff, but stuff I read, they kind of find their way in there. But apparently, they're adapting the Guardians into this new kind of like ideal, like kind of turning like Star Lord into Chris Pratt.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like Star Lord was like a cold killer back in the day, but now he's like quipping and making jokes and cracking wise. Yeah,
Really?
so they're like, this sells. So they're definitely converting it over. They're like, make Drax look more like Batista, like, but where we don't have to pay him, you know.
Oh, yep.
So they're getting pretty close. They're
That's kind of cool. I mean, it definitely works.
yeah, they uh James Gunn knows how to put together a movie. They're, so,
Yeah. Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is a 2014 American superhero film based on the Marvel comics of the same name, directed by James Gunn. So, here's the plot.
who's the characters
1988,
real quick?
Peter, the characters, like
Yeah.
the actors, you got Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Batista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Lee Pace, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, John C. Riley, Benicio del Toro, and a couple others.
Who's Vin Diesel? Yeah.
Vin Diesel, he plays the voice of Groot.
Oh God.
Yeah, they paid him a ton of money to say I'm Groot like 20 times.
That makes sense. That makes sense. He makes a lot of sense now. Thank
Yeah.
you for that insight.
So, 1988, Peter Quill, his mother died on Earth, and then he got abducted by aliens. So, Yondu, who is the alien dude that abducted him, uh, basically raised him, you know. Uh, they're like thieves or what are they? They're like,
Pirates.
yeah, they're like pirates or something. Um, basically the movie's about this orb who like Quill gets the orb and then it gets stolen, and then Ronan the villain sends Gamora, which is Thanos' daughter, to get the orb. So the whole movie's about this orb. Uh, so they go to Xandar, a planet called Xandar, to sell the orb. Okay, so the whole movie's about the orb. Okay, trying to find the orb, get the orb. You don't know what's important about the orb, right? So you meet the characters. You got Quill, which is the main character, also known as Star Lord, Chris Pratt. He's funny, you know. He's basically a human, listens to 80s music, um, doesn't really have any powers, kind of just does stuff. Then you got Rocket, who is a cybernetically modified raccoon. Um, and basically, he's like a super smart, technological. He can build stuff. He's like MacGyver, except he steals stuff. Okay. Then you got Groot, who is a tree-like humanoid. And then you got Drax the Destroyer. Drax is like, he's funny. his whole thing is everything you say to him, he takes literally, and that's like his whole funny thing. He's just super funny.
Very, very dry.
He's
Yeah.
very dry, very muscular. He uses two knives. That's his powers.
Stabby guy.
Yeah. Then you got Gamora, who is the daughter of Thanos, and she also doesn't really have powers. She just kind of shoots stuff, I think, or uses a sword. So that's the main characters.
Damn. Sound like rad bunch of dudes right there. Are we missing somebody? Is there Groot?
Are we?
We talk about Groot?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say about Groot. He's a tree-like humanoid. And that's all Wikipedia has to offer for Groot. Actually, no. Okay, you can click on his name. Let's see what he's got. Groot is a fictional character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. He doesn't really have powers and abilities. Groot can absorb wood as food and has the ability to regenerate. Groot can control trees and plants using them to attack others and appears to be resistant to fire. Groot is able to sprout dramatically, increasing his mass, which then severely inhibits movement.
Sounds cool. Like a Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it is like Swamp Thing.
Interesting. I didn't know he had like a specific power set.
Yep. Okay, so Ronan is the villain. Ronan is the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Who is Ronan? Like, I don't even know who Ronan is.
He's some sort of destroyer from the Kree Empire. I think he's like kind of like a king or some shit. But some sort of betrayal.
Okay, it's Ronan the Accuser. Huh?
It's like, yeah, what you got? I don't know.
It's Ronan the Accuser. He's a Kree warrior that's in peak physical condition. He's resistant to poison, toxin, and diseases. He has superhuman strength. He has an exoskeleton body armor. He kind of just has basic powers.
Basic strong.
He doesn't have anything too crazy. Yeah, his weapon is a hammer, which is in the movie. Okay. So that's Ronan. He's kind of just a plain Jane old villain.
Some sort of political backstory behind why he's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't it Ronan that killed Drax's family? Okay, it was. Or was it Thanos? Wait a minute. Thanos or Ronan? One of the two.
Yeah. Well, Drax tries to ambush either or one of them because he's like, I can't not attack him on sight. He killed my family.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to attack Ronan on sight and got just destroyed. Ronan is under Thanos, though. Thanos is in the movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I was like, whoa. Didn't realize it was in the movie. At the time, I didn't even know like the importance of Thanos, I don't think, when I first saw this movie.
An after credit thing?
No, he's in the movie like during the movie. Like Ronan retreats for a minute and he goes and talks to Thanos. And Thanos like laughs in his face, and then Ronan gets the orb, and then he goes back to Thanos to kill Thanos. Something like that.
That's an awful lot of Thanos.
He's in the movie quite a bit. Yeah, he was in it quite a bit. I was like, wow. Okay, so they're trying to sell this orb. Meanwhile, a bunch of people are trying to get the same orb. Yondu's trying to get the orb. Nebula's trying to get the orb. Ronan's trying to get the orb. And eventually they come across Del Toro, the actor, the Collector, which is just a guy who collects stuff in the Marvel Universe. So they try to sell the orb to him, and he tells them that this is actually an infinity stone, and he works some magic, and the stone pops out of the orb. I forget which stone it is, though.
Power. It's the Power Stone.
Um, is it the Power
Yeah.
Stone? Yeah, it is the Power Infinity Stone.
Tis the Power Stone.
Okay, and then they get the stone, and then they come back to Earth. But Ronan then gets the stone, and his whole thing is he's going to use the stone to kill Thanos secretly. But Thanos was hired Ronan to get the stone in the first place, because Thanos' arc over the overall arc is Thanos is trying to get the stones. So Ronan is trying to get the stone for Thanos, but then Ronan gets the stone and decides to turn on Thanos. So he puts the stone in his warhammer, and then he threatens to kill Thanos.
Now Ronan's not just a strong alien; he's a big threat.
He is a big threat. He now has the Power Stone on the end of a hammer. So the Guardians of the Galaxy teams up with like the good guys, the Nova Corps, which is John C. Reilly, and them.
The Nova Corps.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my goodness! I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. John C. Reilly. Here.
Yeah, he's in this movie from Step Brothers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this movie. He's funny.
I think I wrote.
So Groot sacrifices himself, okay, because Ronan's about to destroy everything, and it's super sad. So Groot dies, okay, and then Quill grabs the stone. Okay, so Quill starts dancing in front of Ronan to distract him, and then Gamora jumps on Ronan, and basically the stone is up in the air for a second, and Quill, the human, reaches for it, but he doesn't die. Okay, and then he uses the stone to kill Ronan. Okay, so right there, Quill's like, that's kind of weird. I'm not a human. So Quill learns he's half human. Okay, but doesn't know who his father is. Only knows who his mother is, which she's a human. And then Yondu, basically says, "Give me the stone, I'm going to kill you." And so he gives him like the orb, but obviously he did the old switcheroo on him, and there was like a troll doll inside the orb instead of the stone. And then Yondu just laughs about it.
Damn. The old troll and switch. About a quarter for every time.
And then at the end, they get the Volume 2 tape, and Baby Groot comes out. And that's the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Where'd they get the tape from?
Okay, so the whole time, Star-Lord had a present from his mom that he never opened since he was a kid. And he decided to open it at the end, and it had another tape in it.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, that's where that came from. So that was a good movie. Like, super funny.
So, yeah, that movie was super funny as well. I liked it.
Yeah, great movie. Okay, so that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack in that movie. But
yeah, a lot happened. So 2017 rolls around. James Gunn comes out with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I like Volume 2 better. Like, Baby Groot's in it, and Baby Groot is hilarious, super cute, Like, I like Baby Groot way better than full-grown Groot. And it's great that he didn't die,
Yeah.
And he's way more, he has way more emotion in the second movie. Like, Groot in the first movie is super just bland, like a tree. But, I mean, that's who he is, I guess. But then Baby Groot is super sassy, and, like, gets mad at stuff. And it's funny. Dances. The opening credit scene for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, you should rewatch it. It's probably the best opening credits I've ever seen in any movie. They're playing that song, Mr. Blue Sky. Okay, you know that song?
think I remember it, but I might have to rewatch
It's like,
it.
hey, you, Mr. Right, something, 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 something. You know the song?
Yeah.
I mean, if that didn't tell you what it is, then nothing will.
You
So,
know, like you transported me. It was like I was there.
it's like you just watched the movie again.
Exactly. I don't even need to watch anymore.
And like during that song, it's the camera's watching Baby Groot dance, and in the background, all the characters are like getting beaten up by this big old alien. Like all the action's back there, and it's just like funny. And I don't know, I absolutely loved that. I totally didn't even realize. I didn't even remember that from the first time I saw it. But anyways, so
They're playing songs from Mama's cassette tape volume 2.
yes, volume 2. That's right. So here we are. Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Baby Groot are now the Guardians of the Galaxy. The villains in this one is the leader of the Sovereign race, which are like these gold people. Okay. And they're super like snooty. Okay. That's who they are, whatever. The cool part is there's like a huge fleet of alien ships that are all remote piloted by these sovereign people. And like at their home planet, they're remote piloting these ships, and it looks like a video game. Like they have their own, like, those video games where you sit on a motorcycle at like an arcade and you turn and you lean left and right to steer the motorcycle. It's one of those. And like, it's super funny. And they treat it like a video game. Anyways, so they were killing this alien in the opening credits for the sovereign people because this alien kept eating their batteries. So they do that. Rocket secretly steals a couple batteries and then they leave. Then all of a sudden, these remote ships are now after them because they realize that Rocket stole a battery. Okay, and the batteries are like super valuable.
It must be like forever batteries or something.
Yeah, they're like some. So Yondu gets hired to capture the Guardians of the Galaxy. They capture Rocket, but then Yondu also captures Quill, but he doesn't really want to turn him over because Quill is like his kid in a way. Like you raise Quill. You know what I mean?
Adopted father.
Yeah. So all this happens, and the crew, Yondu's crew's like, "Hey, you're softening this guy, but he's totally like messing up what we got going on." So then, Lieutenant Taserface takes over Yondu's crew. Taserface, which is the whole thing in the movie, and it's super funny because his name's Taserface, and Rocket like makes fun of him, and then everybody starts making fun of him, and it's super funny.
Yeah.
So
they definitely ham it up pretty hard right there. Like Taserface, like
yes,
that's definitely an adopted name he had since he was a child, probably. Like, guys.
So Taserface is a clickable. He's an actual character.
No. No.
Taserface is an advanced scout for the Stark, and came from a planet inhabited by primitive beings. One day, a cache of armor and technology created by Tony Stark wound up on their planet. The inhabitants quickly adapted themselves to the new technology, calling themselves the Stark after their idol, and proceeded to misuse their newfound gift to conquer other planets. He was deployed to the planet Korg to keep an eye on it and ended up fighting the Guardians of the Galaxy. After his defeat, he was tortured by his species and had his name taken from him, now going by the name Nameless One. His hatred for the new Guardians grew. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. This is Taserface's wiki.
Oh god, this sounds like a fan fiction you stumbled into.
I mean, Taserface possesses some degree of invulnerability due to being a cyborg. He also has a vast array of weapons at his disposal, including are repulsor rays, sensors, and tasers. He also has the ability to absorb energy and redirect it. Whoa. Okay.
What? Absorb and redirect energy?
Yeah, they just kind of added that at the very end. Like, and he also has energy absorbed and
That
redirect.
could be
What?
used to manipulate all sorts of things.
Yeah, that seems
He,
one above
yeah,
all
it was like he
esque.
could jump into a sun type of shit right there.
So Taserface takes over the crew. He imprisons Rocket and Yondu. Um, and then Baby Groot comes up to get them out. Okay. And this part is probably my favorite part of the movie, where they're trying to tell Baby Groot to get Yondu's old mohawk, which is what he uses to control his little arrow thing, you know? Because they shot off his mohawk, so he no longer had the arrow power. So Rocket and Yondu were trying to tell Baby Groot where his old mohawk was at. So Baby Groot would go, grab something, bring it back, and it'd be like a bag of chips. And they'd be like, no, this is a bag of chips. We need a mohawk. And they'd be like, it's in a drawer on this thing. And then Baby Groot would go and he'd bring back something else, something random. And then he'd be like, no. And so they were like drawing them pictures and like explaining it. It's super fun. It takes like 10 minutes. And that is my favorite part of the movie, probably.
That's hyper realistic.
It's like a long,
that's so realistic.
It's so funny. Yes. It's so drawn out. It's like a long joke. I would have figured that the studio would have cut that out because it's so, I don't know.
Do you
It
know
just seems like something that would be
how
cut
much
out.
money they saved? They got to film for an extra like 900 days because they drug that out. You know, bro, that's free money right there. That is.
Wait, what do you mean?
Look, they had the one set that they sat in, and they just had to animate Groot around it. You know,
Oh,
have a potato chip bag. You know, like that's eating up 15 minutes.
What else we got sitting around here? What stuff we got sitting around in this
Yeah,
office?
exactly.
Put this in the movie.
They're like, oh, thank God, that saved $4 million. It's really accurate, you know, because he basically gave up even looking for anything after like halfway through. He just, I think the potato chip bag was because he was hungry, just wandering
around. Yeah. So Rocket and Yondu eventually get out. The three of them destroy the ship, you know, blow up Taserface, and they get out. Then steps in Ego, which is a celestial. Let's read his thing.
Celestials are kind of big deals.
So Ego is the father of Quill. Okay. Which, spoiler alert, I totally said that way after I spoiled it. But anyways, he's the father of Quill. Let me click on him. Because I didn't really fully understand what a celestial even is. Like, is it a planet? I don't know.
They're like primordial beings.
Ego, the living planet, is a fictional character appearing in comic books by Marvel. First appeared in Thor, September 1966. Oh, what? 1966?
No, punching a planet is kind of totally up to his alley.
Let me find powers and abilities. The living planet named Ego has been called a bioverse. Every part of it is controlled by the consciousness of Ego. Ego can generate vast psionic energies that rival an hungered Galactus at their peak. What does that mean? That rival a hungered Galactus at their peak.
When Galactus is hungry, he gets mad, and you don't want to see Galactus when he's mad, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know, but if you can starve Galactus, so I'm like, what is even the point of
that? Ego can project energy blasts that can destroy starships and planets. He can read minds, scan their biological structure. He can communicate to sentient beings using telepathy. If its energy reserves are depleted, Ego can restore them by devouring planets, tapping into stars, or digesting large numbers of living beings. Its psionic abilities are also how it controls its biosphere. Additionally, Ego is exceptionally intelligent, although, as the name suggests, it harbors an extreme superiority complex. It could be emotionally and can be emotionally thwarted. For a while, Ego was propelled through space by using the engine of Galactus and planted on its south pole, but eventually gained control of it through its vast mental powers, allowing it to travel through hyperspace at enormous speeds. However, the device was later removed, and it does not need the engine to travel anymore.
But
So that's pretty
just
interesting.
moves with his mind.
Yeah, I guess so. So Ego shows up, and it's oh man, who's the actor? Big Lebowski.
My God, forgive me.
Wait a minute, it's not the Big Lebowski. It's Kurt Russell. Okay, so Kurt Russell is Ego.
Just melted my mind. I was like, oh God, is that the Big Lebowski?
Dude, it could have been, but it wasn't. He would have been pretty good in that role, I think, because it's already a comedy, so it's like, it would have been funny. So anyways, Ego's like all cool, and Quill's like, "Whoa, my dad," and they're cool. They're playing catch, but secretly, Ego just wants to expand himself. So he's a planet, and he wants to put his own biological DNA out in space, farther away. And the only way to do that is to mate with other species, like how he mated with Quill's mom to make Quill. That is something that he was trying to do called the expansion.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly. So there's a character called Mantis who is like Ego's servant. And her and Drax kind of hit it off in a very unconventional way.
Because she's like really like ditzy and he's really dry and she loves that shit.
Yep. They're like opposites. So Rocket makes a bomb using the batteries that he stole. Baby Groot plants it in the brain of Ego and then explodes it. So they kill Ego. Yondu has a moment where he's like Mary Poppins. That's hilarious.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Not Mary Poppins, y'all.
Is Mary Poppins cool? Yeah, that Yondu arrow scene was like some next level shit right there.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, the arrow part where he killed like 50 people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
did I spoil something? Was that too early?
No, I think I passed that up. I don't even see that.
That was a booty clenching moment right there. I was like, everybody's gonna die. Like, they definitely built suspense and then.
Yeah. So, Quill realizes that Yondu, like the whole reason Yondu kept him and didn't give him to Ego is because Yondu knew what Ego was gonna do. Okay. Which is basically take over Quill and just use him as like a battery. Okay, Ego's whole plan was to use Quill for his energy, because if Quill is near the planet, Quill has like a weird psychic ability that can then be used to do stuff. So Ego was going to use Quill for that. They found that out and blew up Ego because of that. So Yondu, that's why Yondu kept him, like when he was a kid, because he didn't want that happening to him. So it turns out Yondu's a good guy. Then Yondu sacrifices himself so everybody can get out of there safe. So it's super sad, Yondu is sent out into space. He has a space funeral.
Good old space funeral.
And that's the end of the movie, pretty much. Groot is shown as a teenager. Mantis becomes one of the Guardians. The two sisters, Gamora and the blue girl. What's her name? Oh, man.
Nebula.
Gamora. Nebula, that's right. They team up. They're cool with each other.
So, what came first? Baby Groot or Baby Yoda? Am I right? They totally ripped that off.
Oh, man. Did they? Baby Groot came first, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because Baby Yoda came out 2019, I think.
Something like that.
Hmm.
Some scandalous stuff right there.
That's funny. I gotta say, I like Baby Groot better.
Why?
Yeah.
Well,
Baby Groot's funner to watch and cute. Baby Yoda's also cute, but they're different characters. They're different.
Baby Yoda's like way 100 years old and can't effectively doesn't walk around like on the reg unless he's like hiding his ability,
Yeah, Baby Yoda's a literal baby.
But he's like supposed to be old,
He is old. He's like 50 and he's a baby.
So I'm like, man, these things can either not develop at all or he's like doing some serious espionage stuff right now. 50 years old, I'm sure he's probably gone to college.
I mean, he can't even talk yet, so I wonder how old
maybe
is Yoda?
he can talk. He's just like debating the whole thing, He's
How
50
old is
years old.
Yoda in the movie?
900 years old.
Yoda is 900?
Yeah.
Okay, so 900 is old for Yoda's race.
I don't know. Maybe
And
Yoda
50
died
is
from complications.
What race is Yoda? Is that like a thing?
That's the
Like
point.
what?
That's why people call it Baby Yoda. They're like baby thing, There's
But it can't be Yoda. It's not Yoda though, is it?
no. There is
Like
no
it's just the same
defined
species.
race. I don't think.
Huh.
Hmm.
Well, you got any cool things to say about Guardians of the Galaxy? Anything you know of in your comic mind? If you've read something?
The end credits for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah.
You talking about where the gold people make this thing called Atom?
Yeah.
What is that? I have no clue what that is.
It's supposed to be Adam Warlock, just like Space Jesus in this.
Who's Adam Warlock?
Space Jesus.
Okay.
Got like all the powers. I think I kind of brought him up a little bit when we're talking about Infinity War. We're talking about the Infinity Gauntlet in the comic book.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those architects, and he's the one who gets the Infinity Gauntlet in the end. Like he's the one that like breaks the universe with the gauntlet in the comic books.
Wait, what? Is he a good guy?
He's a good guy. Well, I don't know. He has phases. He purged himself. It's kind of like one of them that Rick and Morty episode, the spa.
Mm-hmm.
Like purged himself of all like negative emotions and like basically created a supervillain. Rick and Morty totally ripped that idea.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Adam Warlock, powers and abilities. In all of his incarnations, the character possessed superhuman strength, speed, durability, stamina, agility, the ability to manipulate cosmic energy for energy projection, flight, recuperation, more immortality. For a time, Warlock sacrificed the majority of these powers by prematurely emerging from his cocoon in order to defeat the High Evolutionary. In compensation, the High Evolutionary gave him the Soul Gem. Huh. Warlock's power increased with each resurrection. He can manipulate energy and manifest matter. Oh boy, here we go with the one above all stuff.
Like
He,
Goku. Yeah.
yeah. Wait, what?
He gets stronger every time he gets defeated.
Oh, yep, that is, yep. He later could use quantum magic and manipulate quantum energy to create force fields, teleport, travel faster than light, detect and produce wormholes, and other irregularities in space. Additionally, Warlock also possesses spiritual powers independent from the Soul Gem and is capable of resurrecting himself and other beings by taking deceased bodies and transmuting them. Okay, so this guy straight up can do whatever he
Space
wants.
Jesus. I told you.
This is Space Jesus. As a cosmic being, he possesses acute ultra senses and is considered an astral outsider, a position that prevents other cosmic beings from fully understanding and accurately perceiving his actions.
So he's just unpredictable by design. Like,
Wow. Okay, so he's straight up. Well, no wonder they abandoned him. He would be like overkill in the movie.
well, he's never completely that, like, at any given time, you know? He's never all those things all at once. You know, he's just barely as strong or as weak as the plot requires him to be.
Man.
So yeah, they're like, I think they found out like super ridiculously strong villains are boring, you know, without the build up.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, he spent like what 10 years on Thanos. They're like, this is the dude. Putting all our eggs in one basket. Counting our chickens before they hatch.
Oh, I'm gonna look up Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
No, it's postponed for now.
Oh, it's postponed?
The filming is. I think they like James Gunn got in trouble for those tweets and then fired him and then realized that they couldn't make the movie, so they rehired him or something.
Oh. Whoa. I just got my mind blown. Volume 3 would take place after Avengers 3 and 4. Okay, so I didn't even know it was Avengers 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like we're going to go down a rabbit hole. So, do you have anything else to say about Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2?
So how did Peter's mom die? Oh, cancer. I remember now.
Okay, yeah, that's the whole thing that happened in the second movie. She died of cancer. Turns out, Ego actually killed her.
That son of a bitch!
Exactly. He put a tumor inside her on purpose. And right whenever Quill heard that, he was like, boom, shot him.
Hell no.
Yeah. Did you use the echo thing?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
but
a
yeah. yeah. But yeah, he killed her.
That son of a bitch. Wow, he can only think of himself. Am I right, ladies?
Yeah, he's got a big ego.
Oh. Woo woo woo. Yeah. That's an understatement. He's got a big head. If you look at the comic version of him, that's all he is.
It's just a big old planet. He's like that moon on Majora's Mask.
Exactly.
All right. You got anything else to add?
The collector has a bunch of stuff, but other than that, no.
Wait, what's up with the collector?
It's got a bunch of like that whole scene is like the nerd
Easter egg.
Yeah. Like
what's in this scene? I remember
frame by frame, like freaking Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I remember the duck, and there was like a space dog.
I don't know what that is. I forget. But like tons of stuff. They're like, this is going to lead into the next 9 movies. This is the next plot thread. Like, all right. Can't wait for the 9-part collector saga.
Howard the Duck 5 strikes
yeah.
back.
Avengers Duck season.
Wasn't there something like what's that show with Michael Cera? They're like the Bluth family.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, wasn't there like something in that movie or something about from there in one of the collector pods?
Mm, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm, maybe not. Pretty sure. Anyways, okay. So this has been Learn the Burner. I'm Garrett,
This is Neville.
and see you later.